My name is Dr. Babs, and like I promised the last time in the introductory video, that we'll be bringing people to share their real life experiences. Today we'll be having Oyinkan talk to us about endometriosis. The first time I met her was on a space that we did for endometriosis. A lot of people shared their experiences, and I was like, wow, I'm happy she's doing this with us today, and just watch out. Yes. So Oyinkan, you're welcome
Thank you.
to the podcast. So how are you doing?
Fine.
How was your trip down here? I hope it wasn't too stressful.
No, not really.
You enjoyed the train ride. Was this your first time?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so how did you get to know that you had endometriosis?
Okay, first off, like I usually tell people that I didn't start off with very, very painful periods. I mean, I know that during my periods, like it was just, you know, when they tell you that the pain is just normal. So like I didn't start off with very excruciating, painful periods. But then in 2018, I just came back from NYC camp and I started having very, very serious cramps. So I went to I thought it was an infection from maybe the bathroom or something, or the water or something like that. So my mom was visiting a gynecologist at the time. So I told her and she was like, okay, let's go together and stuff. So the first person I saw, the first doctor I saw was actually like a general practitioner. So he just said, go and start drinking water. It's probably I can't remember. I think he called it something
UTI.
Kidney stone or something.
Okay, kidney stone. Okay.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, if it's about drinking water, I drink a lot of water, so I know that it cannot be kidney stone or whatever. So I kept insisting that I needed to see another doctor. So she was not like, okay, I should see my mom's gynecologist. So I explained to him, and he was like, he's guessing something might be wrong, but I'll need to have like a diagnostic examination or something like that. Okay. So and my mom, you know, Nigerian parents, she was like, let the womb shall be perfect. Let the womb shall be perfect.
Her own concern was just the womb.
Okay. The womb. So in his office, I did like an ultrasound, and he said, okay, the womb is perfect, everything, but he cannot really say what it is. So he referred me to somebody. I went there and he said there was something, he saw something, there was a liquid somewhere that was not supposed to be somewhere. That was an infection. So I was actually right about the infection. So then he said there was something, I think he said there was like a little fibroid as well. Then he now said, okay, that you can see some things that looks like endometriosis. And that was my first time hearing about it. So I went to Google.
Don't Google your symptoms, please. Don't.
So I went to Google, and when I read about it, I was so scared and I was worried. I went back to the gynecologist. So it was like, okay, that since everything is like this, but endometriosis cannot be diagnosed just like that. That it's not something that you can just discover at once. But then he gave me some painkillers and a lot of pills. Yes. So after then, like the pills, I'll feel relieved for like a month, and I'll be happy that, oh, thank God.
You're fine.
Then suddenly it just comes again, and so I kept going back to him. And like it would just give me drugs and say, okay, go and use this, go and use that. At some point, painkillers stopped working because I'd gotten used to them. So I now told him that, what do you think we should do? Because it was getting, before then, I went to another lab, and the man was like, who told you have endometriosis? You better go and use one word. I can't remember what he said, but it was like, who told you have endometriosis? Endometriosis is not for young people. Something that you cannot even have endometriosis. And that's one of the reasons why I don't really like religious people in health.
Okay, so you think someone who is religious does not really put their head into the... Okay.
So because I was like, no, you cannot have endometriosis. So I was like, this is not something that is even called. But like, just let me know.
Okay, so this person they're talking about is not a doctor.
He's not a doctor,
He's
he's
just
a
someone that works,
radiologist.
a radiologist.
Yes.
Okay. So
And a
what?
senior radiologist for that matter.
Okay, but radiologists are actually doctors.
Yes.
But maybe a radiographer. Maybe that was what you meant.
I don't know.
Okay, because a radiologist is actually a doctor who studies radiology.
Yeah.
While a radiographer is probably somebody who just works with the machine.
No, this person is a radiologist.
Okay, so he's a doctor.
He's a doctor, yes.
He's a doctor.
So he said, you cannot have endometriosis. Who told you? This person is lying to you. Then he ran a test. What do they call it? Like a diagnosis.
A scan?
A scan, yes, a scan. So he said, okay, what I can see is your ovaries are enlarged. Then you have to go and reduce your waist. Yes, that was the first thing he told me. Okay. You are too big for it. He asked how old I was. I told him I was, I think, 25 at the time.
At the time, okay.
Yes, and he said, you're too big for your age. You have to go and find somewhere how to lose weight and something. I said, okay, no problem. So just let me know. So after then, I went back to my doctor, and he said, what we're going to do is I'm going to refer you to Lagos.
Okay.
To a fertility center in Lagos. So you're going to have like a proper check, because you cannot just start giving me pills for endometriosis and stuff like that. Yeah. So in December 2021. So I went to Lagos. I ran a check. Okay, so the doctor I saw, the gynecologist I saw, she asked me a couple of questions. And what I think could be the issue and stuff. I said I don't know. That the last scan told me enlarged ovaries and stuff, but I don't know what. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. So she said okay, that she was going to run a test, and she was sure going to do a lot of things. I spent almost the whole day there. She did, and the first thing she said after the test was, you don't have enlarged ovaries. Okay. So it was like somebody said.
Now you met 4 different doctors.
Yes, 4 different doctors.
4 of them are actually saying 4 different things.
Yes. So she said, you don't have enlarged ovaries. You have to just relax and calm your mind. I said, okay, ma. She said, okay. The only thing that, because she asked my symptoms and everything, that the only thing that is looking like might be the issue, because we have done all the necessary tests, is endometriosis. So you're going to have to do a laparoscopy. And so I went back to Ilorin. I saw my doctor. The doctor said, okay, that I might have to go and do the laparoscopy, because that's the only way you can be
because
sure.
The test for endometriosis itself is a diagnostic laparoscopy. Yes. So
I had to go back to Lagos. I did the laparoscopy. So the woman was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you, blah, 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 blah. The result says you have endometriosis.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, it's not something that will kill me. Why are you talking to me as if it's something that...
Okay, so the way she broke the news to you was like you were dying.
Yes,
okay.
She said it like something that was going to kill me in the next 2 months. I was like, it's not like I'm dying. Why are you trying to... She's like, why do I look unbothered? I said, I've been living with this for years. So even if it's something that is going to kill me, like, it's not like I'm happy, but at least I shall know that we're getting somewhere with it.
At least, the uncertainty about what the diagnosis was at the time could actually kill.
I was so scared. There was nothing I didn't think of. I thought about cancer. I thought about different things. Like, I went to the extreme. So now getting a diagnosis was like, okay, at least we now know where to face.
So at the time because now one of the challenges that ladies have, and I've come across a lot of people who have endometriosis. One of the challenges that they have basically is the fact that it takes a long time to get the diagnosis. And it's actually not so only in Nigeria. Basically, the challenge of the diagnosis of endometriosis is worldwide, because it is a diagnosis of exclusion. So when you have checked out every other thing, that's when you can now say, okay, this is endo. Maybe let us think about endometriosis. Because one of the things again is the fact that not everybody has the knowledge
Yes.
Not everybody is a specialist.
Yes.
So
In
when
fact, I met some doctors that they had never heard about endometriosis.
they have never heard of it, or maybe they
Never.
don't know how to manage it.
They've never.
Oh, okay.
They've never, because I know, especially in Lagos,
Okay.
a lot of them, the woman had to like call other
Doctors
doctors
and
and
explain to
explain to
them.
them, and they were like, "Oh wow, they've never heard about it before." And they started asking me my symptoms, and I told, and one of them said, "You would have just thought maybe it was fibroid or something."
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like,
You know, it's actually a challenge because I was going through a blog written by an Indian person,
okay,
because you know I made a tweet about endometriosis at the time
yeah,
that actually went that went viral,
yes,
and a lot of people, some white guys, were even insulting me that I was giving maybe like an old information and all that. But I was telling them that yes, I know that this is an evolving topic,
yeah,
and there is really no particular data or particular
yes,
stuff that says,
about
okay, this
it.
is where
Yeah.
this is heading. It's actually something that is evolving.
Yeah.
And a lot of ladies who actually suffer it, a lot of people feel that
A lot of people don't even know. A lot of them don't know. They
don't
just feel
yes,
like
they just feel like okay, it's just my period.
painful
Because
periods, yeah.
the painful thing again is that I had a colleague who suffered from endometriosis, and people felt that she didn't want to work. At the time when she,
I've had that as
yes,
well.
when she was pain, when she has the pain,
Yes,
a lot of
and
people
they'll
will
be
be like, oh,
is it not just your
yeah,
period?
it's
Why
not just a
you
period. Why
why
are
are
you
you
trying to form
exaggerating?
and
As
all
if other
that?
people don't.
So
Yeah.
it's something that actually hits on a lot of ladies, and it takes a long time for people to know what the diagnosis
Yes.
is, because it's actually a diagnosis of exclusion. Like I'm going to say it again, it's a diagnosis of exclusion after you have diagnosed every other thing, because there are
you
so
now
many
think
things.
about
Yes, there are
it.
so many things that can actually cause pain while you are having your menstruation. Some people have it like that just normally. Some people probably like an infection, like you thought about, would actually bring about pain during menstruation. But a lot of people don't actually really know. Like for me, if I see someone who has like pain during menstruation, I'll probably just manage the person, antibiotics, give some analgesics, and when that does not go away, then I think that is the time where people need to start thinking out of the box and refer people appropriately. Because if you don't refer people when your own knowledge is limited, you now keep suffering the patient. And I feel that is what people should know out there. People should begin to
refer.
refer people.
If you don't know, if you don't understand, if you have gotten to the end of your own knowledge, it's okay to just bring in other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's it. So how did this probably affect? Did it probably have like an effect on your relationship? Or...
Well, actually, when I first noticed it, like I was dating at the time, and I always complained about pain in my, and my own was not even only during my period. It was before, during, and after.
Wow.
So it was like in a month I only had like 5 days or so off, and I was and I was always complaining, my back, my leg, my tummy, and it gives me a headache. And he's always like, you complain too much. You're always complaining. What is it? Is it only you? Blah 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 blah. And then at some point he told me, see, my mom is a nurse. So I told her about it, and she said there's nothing like endometriosis. Is either the womb is damaged or something like that. Or something like that. I was like, okay, fine. If you don't believe it, then you can go. Then after that, a lot of like even friendships, like somebody would just text me, oh, how are you? And I'm like, I'm not fine. And got to a stage, somebody actually told me, you're always not fine. I'm like, okay, sorry, but you asked me. So what was I supposed to say? So it's like that. Like a lot of people just like, oh, she complains a lot. She's always complaining that something is always wrong with her. Something is always wrong with her. She's always complaining. She doesn't have a headache. Her back is paining her. Her leg is paining her.
And that could actually lead to you not conversing with people.
Yes,
when
at some point I stopped.
Yes,
at some point I stopped. It was like I got used to the pain. So because I wanted to make other people feel better. So even if I'm outside and maybe my face is somehow and people are like, oh, what's wrong? I'll just say, no, I'm tired. Because I cannot say, my tummy is paining me. Or they say, oh, you have started again. And I even had somebody tell me recently that you and this your cramps. And it now looks like me and the cramps have a
Yeah,
relationship.
friends.
Say, you and this your cramps. I'm like, what do you mean you and this your cramps? If I'm not feeling the pain, if something is not wrong with me, do you think I'm always excited to say, oh, I'm not feeling well?
And when you tell people that you had endometriosis, like, they don't understand.
They don't. Because even when you ask them to go and check Google,
Okay.
the information on Google is not very explanatory. They don't really understand. Only a few people can try, because I've had, when I told one of my friends about it and she asked me, is it serious? I said it's serious, but it's not, I cannot say it's not critical, if you get what I mean. It's not like something, it's not like cancer, thankfully, that
has no cure and might probably lead to death.
It's not like cancer, but then it's serious to me. And she said, can it affect, she asked me a couple of questions, can it affect childbearing? I said, it might, I don't know, because
you have not tried.
I have not tried. So she asked a lot of questions, and she was like, I'm so sorry you're going through this. Blah, blah, blah. And that's like somebody that tries to understand. A lot of people just say, okay, so what do you think we should do about it? I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you to do something. I'm just telling you so that it's not be like
I'm always complaining. Yeah. Now you are very careful with your relationship with people, such that you don't want them to feel like you're a burden to them, and you don't want them to feel like you are always complaining about it. Okay, so let me ask you like something, a very practical question. So how, let me say, speak for people who have endometriosis. How would you want to be addressed? How would you want somebody to like care for you? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like so.
First off, like anybody that is complaining of being in pain is 90% in pain.
No, because people
will not understand. Because sometimes I'm outside and I'm laughing and suddenly I'm in pain. And they'll be like, how can you tell me you're in pain and you're laughing? Do you understand? But if I tell you I'm in pain, I'm in pain. I cannot say that I'm not in pain.
And pain is actually subjective. Because no other person can actually feel the pain.
Exactly.
So you can't explain to somebody that this is
how I'm feeling. And you know that my mom usually says that when something is wrong with somebody inside, there's no how you can explain it to people. They will never get it. If you have an injury, everybody can see that you have an injury, so they know that you are definitely in pain. But you look fine, everything is okay, everything is perfect, but inside there's so much going on. It's
not like they can see an obvious deformity
and then you don't look sick, like you're not running a temperature, you're not in the hospital, so you're fine to everybody.
Okay, so now back to the question. How do you, now you have said that when somebody says they are in pain, so just agree that the person is in pain.
You don't
it's
have
not
to
like
argue.
the person...
You don't have to argue, oh, but you're laughing, you're eating. I've had somebody actually tell me, you're in pain and you're eating.
Okay, so you should not eat because you're in pain. Okay, because one thing again is I think people who have endometriosis get used to that pain. Like to a particular extent to which they don't manifest the pain.
For instance, somebody like me, like it's only when it gets really serious that I can no longer hide it, that you know that I'm in pain. But
I hope you're not in pain right now.
I cannot really say.
Okay.
So like it's crazy. Really crazy.
Okay. So what have you done that helps? Because I have heard people say that this management is individualized, and what works for somebody does not work for the other person. So I have people that I know that probably have said that weight loss has helped them. Some people say analgesic has helped them. Some people have said taking some form of antioxidants, like some kind of fruits and some kind of food, has helped them. I know people who say that if they stop taking carbs or some kind of
they feel better.
Yes, maybe they stop taking milk, they get better. So what helps?
What helps for me is aside the weight loss and every other thing. Like
so you're saying weight loss helps?
Yes. I have learned to notice if I eat any kind of food and I feel some kind of way. For instance, milk for me as
Milk,
well.
okay.
Milk, granuts.
Okay, so we are establishing that weight loss works because I've heard
Yes,
people say weight loss works.
But I don't know for other people. But yeah,
No, I think like 80 to 90% of people that I know have told me that weight loss works for them,
Yes,
and that milk. I know somebody who says milk also, that she rations the milk she takes.
Yes, I don't take milk every time. Like I just reduce, or sometimes I don't even take at all.
Okay.
So milk, granuts, sometimes soda. But then I'm a soda person, so like.
But you know, soda is going to affect weight loss.
So like, I don't know. Sometimes I just try to.
Oh, soda works?
Yeah, no.
Not taking soda.
Yes, not taking soda works.
Okay.
Then what else? Then I have like a hot water bottle.
Oh, okay.
It's always in my bag. If it's not in my bag, that means I'm not spending the night wherever I am.
You are. Okay.
Yes. So I have that as well. I use a lot of analgesic as well. But I've learned to reduce it to when I'm actually in pain and I cannot manage it myself.
But I'm not of the opinion. I don't support people managing pain. Personally, if I have a patient who says I have pain, I'll probably start from the lowest analgesic ladder.
Yes.
Because I don't support people. Pain is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Pain is actually a signal to say that there is something happening.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of ladies who probably have menstrual pain and they'll say that, okay, I'm not taking analgesic. I want to manage pain. I don't subscribe to that school of thought. I also don't subscribe to people abusing analgesics. So if you don't probably have pain, you probably shouldn't take it. Or if you have pain and you know that there's something else that can work.
Yes.
Because a lot of people abuse analgesics, and you know when you abuse analgesics, especially NSAIDs, you can have ulcer. Yes, you can have NSAID-induced gastritis, which would make somebody bleed internally and all that. So, but I don't like it when people say, okay, I'm in pain and I don't want to take any drugs for it. So analgesics work for you?
Yes, but not all the time, actually. Because even like last month, I was in serious pain and the analgesic I was using before wasn't working. So I had to go to a pharmacy and told the pharmacist I'm in pain and the analgesic I used was not working. So she now gave me something that was higher than the one I was using. And ever since I've been using it, it has been reduced. But then I don't use it all the time. So a lot of times I prefer to use my hot water bag because it even helps me sleep a lot. So
so we have confirmed that weight loss works, reducing milk works. We've also confirmed that she said granules works also. So but you are very lucky. You have a very fine face. There are people who have endometriosis who actually have a lot of bumps on their faces. So you never had acne.
No.
Oh wow, so you are one of the lucky ones.
I like to think so.
Because those kind of people would require some kind of dermatological care, would have to reach out to dermatologists, and a lot of skincare routines would also go along with that. So I think by and large we've been able to touch on it. So we've talked about the symptoms, which include severe pain. Did you by any time, did your menstruation probably cease or?
Yes, I have a lot of irregular menstruation.
So that's also one of the symptoms. And one thing again, I would like the audience to know is that the moment you don't have menstrual pains before and you suddenly start to have menstrual pains, that is, there's something wrong. It doesn't usually happen like that. People who would have menstrual pain will start having it from like when they start menstruating. So if you have been having like a normal menstruation before and then suddenly start having pain,
then something is
actually wrong. Okay, so I think we've touched on some of those things. So how do you manage work?
I'm not currently working, not like working per se. I work for myself.
Oh wow. You are a rich woman. After now, I should just give you my account number.
I work for myself and I'm also in school.
Okay. So how do you manage school?
A lot of times I just like schedule my whatever I have to do and do it in time, because I know that there will be a particular period that I will not be able to get up from wherever it is that I'm lying. I will not be able to get out and do stuff. So I either have people who are going to do it for me. If it's very important, have people who are going to do it for me. But if you can wait, then you don't have to wait.
Okay, because I know that people who work actually have at loggerheads with their bosses.
Yes, I know a lot of people that have lost their jobs
because of that. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so that's actually a lot to take in. Okay, so another thing that I would like to add is the fact that are you in any support group, or do you know of any support group?
Yes, I mean endometriosis. I can't remember the name now because it's been long. They had something.
Oh, we're going to put the link down, so I'll get the link from you.
Yes.
Okay.
So and I follow other endometriosis pages on Instagram, Twitter. And I just talk to, like, I actually have a group of friends that
also have endometriosis. Okay. Like, so you guys became friends when you discovered. Okay.
So I just, when I'm feeling something, or when maybe somebody tweets something, I just text them and just let them know that everything will be fine.
Okay, because I know someone sent me a link on endometriosis support group when I tweeted about endometriosis then. And then the person told me that I have flooded their group with people because a lot of people joined that group at that particular point in time, and there were so many entrances into the group. Well, I'm going to look for that link. I'll get your link too, and I'm going to drop it down in the video so that people can actually reach out to people and have conversations, because it's always good when you know that you are not alone in this. And that is one of the reasons why we are actually doing this podcast, because when people know that they are not alone and people are bold enough to come out, to come and say things, yes, it's okay, I'm living through it and I'm fine. When people see that, I think that would also help them to be able to come out and to also seek for help, because these support groups, I know of this last support group that I added, they put meal plans, they put supplements that work, they put several tips, and people come and share their experiences and say, this is what is happening to me on a daily basis. So I think we are going to drop the support group.
And I actually think that you don't have to, it's not until you get diagnosed for endometriosis before you join the support group. There are some people that are in pain, but they don't know how to express it. So if you're on a support group and somebody is having a similar symptom to yours, you have an idea, then you'll be able to go to the doctor or something that's okay.
And then joining the support group also can be for spouses and friends, because so when you join, you'll be able to know how to care for that person. Okay, I think we are getting to the end of the whole stuff. We've heard Oyinkan's experiences, and this is what we are going to be doing on the podcast, and we're going to be having people come to talk about different topics so that we can learn from their experiences, debunk some of these myths that we have, and then we'll be able to know. So if you have somebody around you who has pain, who is in pain, who has menstrual pain, please support them. Bosses, don't sack people because they are in pain. Yes, please, I'm begging. Like, I saw something on Twitter that an organization is having period breaks for their people, but everybody will now know when the ladies on that period, when they give period breaks.
The one I saw was the one the company that gives them like a period package.
Wow.
Yes.
I wish I were a woman now.
But not everybody gets lucky, so.
Oh, okay. So, but I think that people should put that into consideration and try to help people. So I think we have been able to touch on some of these things. We've talked about the symptoms. We've talked about things that help. She has told us, giving us tips on the things that help for her. So you can also drop in the comments things that you think can help. Let's have conversations around this. Let's help people. Let's support people. And because this is an evolving condition, I hope one day science is going to be able to reach the level in which we are going to be able to have a definitive cure for this. So thank you so much for listening in today and watching this video. We're still going to come back next week and have another conversation about another topic that is affecting people. Thank you so much, Oyinkan, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Yeah. So bye. So tell them bye.